Thank you. Randy Chavez, guitar.
Hey everybody, my name's Bobby. Welcome to Mile High Church. Thank you so much for spending part of your weekend with us, especially if you're new. Our vision, Oneness Revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. Our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Our Prayer and Care Center offers healing classes and workshops along with individual support for anyone working through periods of deep loss. Our grief support workshops are facilitated by specially trained individuals. The morning after, grieving the loss of a loved one. An 8-week class for those who have experienced loss through a physical death and are ready to begin to reinvest in life. Beyond divorce, an empowering 8-week class for those who are adjusting to the end of an intimate relationship. Pet loss support. A 1-day workshop to embrace and honor the loss of our animal and experience care and support as we open to a greater understanding of the grief process. Navigating the holidays after loss. A mini workshop facilitated by Dr. Patty Lukenbach that combines process and ritual in supporting participants in moving through the holiday season following any significant loss.
Welcome to Conversations with a Stranger. Imagine new ways of being with each other so that together we can begin to build the world we want to see. How do we love in a time of rage? How do we fix a broken world without breaking ourselves? What do you see in the stranger sitting across from you? So take a seat, share a moment, and see what unfolds when you begin a conversation with a stranger. Explore further at See No Stranger with Valerie Kaur at Mile High Church on October 3rd. Get your tickets at milehighchurch.org.
For more information about anything you've heard today, stop by the Event Center in the lobby or connect with us online at milehighchurch.org.
Well, hello, everybody. Hey, wow, thank you. Hey, it's my pleasure this morning. I get to introduce our special guest musicians today, this dynamic duo over here, Bettman and Halpin Band. They have been making music for nearly 2 decades together, rocking the world, and they're here to rock with us this morning. It's so great to have them. I got to meet them at Unity Columbine at the beginning of the summer when I was speaking there. They're fantastic. So let's give them a warm Mile High welcome.
Place where I am going, no one has ever been. The place where I am going, no one has ever been. Of a ship floating in the desert sands. There's water in the distance saying, catch me if you can. I am the king of a castle built on the ocean floor, and I am standing on a drawbridge knocking at my door. The place where I am going, no one has ever been. The place where I am going, no one has ever been. of a father. I am not the Prince of Peace. I've rubbed shoulders with the devil, and the Father still loves me. And I am on a journey with an ever-changing plan. When I get where I am going, I'll know who I am. The place where I am going, no one has ever been. The place where I am going, no one has ever been. Yeah, the place where I am going, no one has ever been. The place where I am going, no one has ever been. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Mile High Band. Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mile High Church. Greeting to everyone watching us online today. You ever feel like Atlas? Remember Atlas was the guy that liked to hold the world up? You ever feel like you're holding the world on your shoulders? I love something that Mark Nepo once said. He said, Atlas wasn't forced to hold up the world. He was convinced that if he didn't, the world would fall. And I think it's an interesting thing whenever we step into this sanctuary or tune into Mile High Church, that we can find that courage to let the world off our shoulders and sometimes find that it doesn't fall apart, but it actually comes together. And when we engage in spiritual community, we can stop holding everything in our lives from a place of isolation and realize we can all hold it together in a place of healing and revealing and understanding. And so I honor whatever you bring into this space with you this morning, but I invite you to let it go. I invite that we all hold it together and just see what happens. That's part of the magic of spirituality. I think it's part of the magic of Mile High Church. If you're new here, we're so glad you're here. We have a vision and mission we love to recite each week. It's coming up on the screens. If you want to say it along with me, it goes like this. Our vision, oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Before we move into our spiritual practice of song, silence, and prayer, I want to light our memorial candle in honor of Gail Schrag, who was a longtime member of Mile High Church, served as a board member on our Mile High Church Foundation. We celebrated his life here the weekend before last, but I wanted to make sure that we took the time to honor his spirit, to honor his contributions to the spiritual community, and to send our hearts out to everyone who is grieving his loss and who loves him, knowing that our hearts are indeed with them.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Don't you feel the peace, the joy, the love that fills this space right now? And then moves down into each of our beings to be a part of who we are. That peace, that love, all of that is available to us at all times. And I'm so thankful to know that at this time, on this Sunday morning at Mile High Church, that we can feel that power of the divine within this dome and within the sound of my voice over that virtual field, because God is all there is. God is all there has to be, no matter what the appearances of this world may show up as. Because God is perfect peace. And so the universe's central focus is peace. And so that means for each of us, our central focus is peace. And so as things come at us from the external world, we can go back to that space of peace and remind ourselves that that is what we are intended to be, and allow peace to reign within us, so that as we leave this beautiful sanctuary, that we step out into the world as a beneficial presence for peace, and one by one we effect change in this world. I know this is the truth. And I thank God that each of us is here at this time on planet Earth to be able to express peace now. Thank you, God. And so it is. Gravity. You have a hold on me. No matter what I do, I will lose to you. Nothing to choose but gravity.
push against this pull to you. Dug in, determined, it's no use. Gravity, no matter what I do, I am pulled to you. I fight with all of my might, and you will win. But inside I'm flying, inside I'm floating, weightless, weightless, ageless, the inner spring, eternal blossoming. Gravity, you have a hold on me. Pull me under, no surrender. Torn asunder, don't Thank you.
Our words of inspiration today to support our talk come from Corrie ten Boom first. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door of resentment and the handcuffs of hatred. It is a power that breaks the chains of bitterness and the shackles of selfishness. And from Norman Cousins, life is an adventure in forgiveness. And from Desmond Tutu, forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning.
You need to know it took courage to come from the place that you come from and go where you're dreaming to go. You need to know. You need to know. There are voices of doubt like the tides of the ocean. They gather like shells on your shore. Don't listen to them anymore. You need to know. There's a strength in your heart that can never be broken, no matter how broken you feel. There's a crystal of courage that holds you together, no matter how tossed on the wheel, no matter how lost you may it's not my love you need. If I could love you enough, and you know that I would love away all of the pain. If I could love you enough, it would do you no good, because life doesn't work that way. You have to love your own pain away. You need to know. You need to know. My love follows wherever you go. You need to know. My love follows wherever you go. You need to know. My love follows wherever you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Luke, for choosing to share your gift with us this morning. I know that you have some product here that we can take home with us as well, and so grateful to have you here. Thank you to our Mile High Band, Randy, Bijou, Josh, Rob. Thank you to Laura Berman, who's been creating great music for us. Melissa Peterson, it's great to have you back with us this morning. Valerie Kaur is coming October 3rd, Friday night, and I wanted her to share here because she wrote a tremendous book called See No Stranger. And some of you may be like me, and I look at our country and I see separation. I see separation, and I even come to believe that people who think other than I do and have different ideas about the solutions that face our country than me are other than me. And then I watch media and watch other politicians say mean things about them, and I get into it to the degree that I begin to dehumanize them in my own mind. To the degree that I begin to see terrible things happening in my country, such as the assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah, or even in our own backyard in Evergreen, a terrible shooting that happened 2 weeks ago. And I have to look in the mirror and say, I know I didn't do those things, but is there anything that I might be doing that contributes to the energy and the dehumanizing and the othering that bring these terrible things about? And I get to look in the mirror, and I get to do my own work. And Valerie Kaur is someone who helps me do that work. I'm prayerful that her sharing here will be from that place of See No Stranger, and that will help us be the people that we at Mile High are. We're the oneness people. So when we fall into separation, the world is in trouble, right? And I think Valerie's presence here is a great opportunity for us to step into that oneness to an even greater degree. And you can see her here in the sanctuary. You can buy a ticket to watch her online as well. My message to you this morning is from why to now what? 7 steps to forgiveness. And the first step to forgiveness is feel the pain. Doesn't sound fun, does it? You got to feel the pain. Someone broke your trust. Someone betrayed you. Someone didn't honor you for the light and the precious being that you are. That someone may have been another, it may have been yourself. I am so sorry. I am so very sorry that happened to you. I've learned this past year especially that pain is not a straight line. It doesn't have a clear beginning, middle, or end. It orbits in the cosmos, and I come back around it again. It changes and transforms as I change and transform. But the essential thing I would tell you about forgiveness today is it's not a one-time act. It's a regular practice. Forgiveness is an ongoing practice. We've got to feel the pain. However, if your pain only stays in the why, you'll never heal it. You'll never move past it. And yet you have to acknowledge that it's there. I have 2 shows that I put on in my mind. The first I call Judge Joshy. It's a wonderful show. It's where I put certain people in my life on trial in my mind and prosecute them for their crimes against my dignity and well-being. The other show is a kind of what if, wherein I like to imagine things happening the way I would have liked them to have happened as opposed to the way that they really did. Both of these shows are absolutely entertaining and totally useless to my well-being and healing journey. It's not until we move from the pain and why, which is where we need to start, to now what, that healing can begin. The thing that perhaps impresses me more than anything else about the human spirit is the ability to transform pain into healing, pain into resolve, pain into determination, pain into transformative courage, pain into the becoming of the profound and emphatic truth of who you are. You have that in you. Did you know that? It is incredible to see how so many people can take something like pain and transform it into something beautiful. I think we underestimate this in the arts. Just how much beautiful art, be it a song or a painting, a work of writing, can come from the deepest pain and create the most transformative healing. And you, yes, you, in your life have taken pain and walked through it and transformed yourself into someone even more beautiful, more powerful. But you've got to feel it first. You feel the pain and you move to the second step of forgiveness, which is you've got to tell the story. You've got to tell the story. And again, this starts in why. I have to tell the story of what you did to me, of what I allowed to be done to me, about what happened. I have to be present to the pain. But here's the trick. When we're telling the story about why, know that it is never the truest story. Not saying it's not factual, but it's not the whole story. The whole story doesn't happen until we move from why to now what. If the story doesn't include your wholeness, it's not a true story. Many of you know that my family has walked through divorce this year. It's been very, very painful for me. Norman Lear has my favorite memoir title, Even This I Get to Experience. And I have a rule in ministry that if you're in story about something, don't talk about it from the pulpit. Therefore, I may never talk about it. But I want you to know that that's something that I've walked through and my family has walked through. And I'm so grateful to each and every one of you for keeping it in confidence. And what I mean by that is it's not a secret, but it's sacred. Help us by keeping it sacred and knowing the highest truth and well-being for myself, for April, for Gavin, and for Nancy June. Gavin works here, and my daughter is basically the mayor of Mile High Church. So you can support them by just letting them be the incredible people that they are here and just surrounding them with love. They don't need to talk about it or anything like that. They just need to be uplifted and loved. So thank you for doing that. as much as I'm not here to ever perhaps talk to you about the why of my divorce, I can speak to you about the pain of it, about the pain of my experience. And I know so many of you have walked through that pain too. Not long after the process began, I was in the second week of Beyond Limits class, which it's not too late to join because week 2 is on Tuesday. And I was participating in the exercise I was facilitating, and I wrote, I purge my codependent fear of rejection, and I learn to speak my human truths grounded in spiritual reality. I purge my codependent fear of rejection. This is an affirmation, by the way, and act as if. And I learn to speak my human truths grounded in spiritual reality. Do you know how hard that is? That's where my work is. It's very hard to say, I feel betrayed, discarded, disposed of. And I know everything is working towards my highest and best good. It's challenging to say, my heart is broken, and I am committed to living each day in the wholeness of who I am. It's challenging to say, I feel all alone, isolated, and I am the most supported person I know, and I am never alone. We are that evolved beings that we can hold these dual truths. But all this stuff I'm saying about things working for my highest good and living in my wholeness and that I'm never alone, they're just platitudes and cheap cliches if I can't walk into the story of my human experience. It's the honoring of your humanity that leads you to the spiritual realization. If you just spout out the so-called spiritual magic spell to start, it's insincere. It's not authentic. It's not you, and it will not grow in you. We have to accept that human part of us first, which means we tell the story. But in the why, it's only part of the story. It's not until we get to now what that the true story begins to unfold. Because if it doesn't include your wholeness, it's not the whole story. When we embrace our wholeness, it's then that healing begins. It's then that the forgiveness starts to take care of itself. Step 1, feel the pain. Step 2, tell the story. Step 3, release them from their role. Release them from their role. I know this may not apply to everyone's forgiveness journey, but for so many of us, someone said they'd fulfill a role for us, or we expected them to fulfill a role for us, and they failed. And we're pissed. Right? Or we ourselves did. Anyone here grow up without the perfect parents? Anybody? I remember being in my early 20s and kind of struggling with this idea that my parents were not the perfect parents. And I had judgments for them about that, for not being the perfect parents. And I don't know by what magic it occurred, but it occurred to me that, Josh, you need to release them from their role. You need to release them from their role. And it was an amazing experience to not see mom and dad, but to begin to see Mike and Lori. And the first thing that happened is I became incredibly fascinated by Mike and Lori. I wanted to know everything about them. The second thing that began to happen is and this is just me and my experience, was easily able to forgive them for any so-called wrong or judgment I had about how they were showing up for me in a bad time. Because I was no longer comparing them to the perfect mom and dad that they weren't, and I saw them for the human beings that they were, the level of awareness they were at the time, and that they were doing their best. The third thing that happened is I fell madly in love with Mike and Lori. And the fourth thing that happened is no longer did I want the perfect parents. I wanted my mom and my dad and was so grateful for them. Again, the forgiveness isn't a one-time act. We have to continue to move through that. But when we release someone from their role, we can immediately encounter their humanity. And we can restore their dignity in our own consciousness. And we can begin to move on from our lives. especially in those deepest relationships when we expected someone to fulfill a role and they didn't. We don't realize that we sometimes cut off anyone from giving that to us, right? It's one thing to say, my mother never loved me. It's another thing to say, my mother never loved me, and so I have never received love, right? Because we're so stuck in that not getting it. But when we can open back up to the universe, to life, providing for us the highest and best people to fulfill those roles, we can let that love in, and we can take all that love that, yes, we've been too afraid to give that it may be taken for granted or dismissed or rejected or not properly processed. We get to give and grant that love again. Healing. Byproduct, forgiveness. Byproduct of that, grace. Well-being. Step number 4, articulate your needs. Articulate your needs. May not be true for all of us, but I'm willing to wager just a little bit that in the blow-up that led to your need to forgive, that you may have just forgotten a little what your needs were and taking the time to articulate them. Is that resonating? Does that sound true? Yes. Why in my moments of greatest struggle do I so often abandon myself and not take that time to articulate my needs? Part of the forgiveness process, whether it's at someone else or yourself, is saying, I'm going to take time every day to articulate what my needs are. What do I need right now? I need to be heard. I need to be hugged. I need to accept myself as I am. I need to accept that I do not accept myself the way that I am. I need to vent. I need to be known, to be actually seen. I need to be uplifted. I just need to let my hair down and relax. What do you need right now? And to recognize, and this is where the courageous part of our teaching comes in, that the only person who's responsible for seeing that your needs are met when you are an adult is you. When you are an adult, it's you. We can't wait around, as grand and wonderful as the universe is, thinking it's going to read our minds and know what our needs are. I love an exchange that the psychologist Harville Hendricks once had with a client named Walter. Harville wrote the popular book, Getting the Love You Want, many decades ago. And he talks about working with this man named Walter, and Walter is complaining that he doesn't have any friends. He's sad, and he's lonely. And Hendricks has had about enough of it. He's starting to get annoyed. So he decides to take another approach with Walter. Walter, I said with a sigh, do you understand why you don't have any friends? He perked up. No, tell me. The reason you don't have any friends is that there aren't any friends out there. His shoulders slumped. I was relentless. That's right, I told him. There are no friends out there. What you want does not exist. I let him stew in this sad state of affairs for a few seconds. Then I leaned forward in my chair and said, Walter, listen to me. All people in the world are strangers. If you want a friend, you're going to have to go out and make one. In the same way, we can't think that the universe is just going to know what our needs are. It has imbued us with the ability to articulate what that is. And when we can articulate our needs, we can learn to give them ourselves by asking for support, by taking care of ourselves, by being willing to then engage in this creative universe to make those friends, to make those connections, to have that healing. But if we're only staying in why, we're only staying in that past pain, we're never moving forward. We're hitting again and again our heads at the end of a chapter that is sad and lonely, missing out on turning the page into the new chapter that's ready to bring us into a greater way of being ourselves, to articulating our needs and getting our needs met. Step 5 is redefine your boundaries. Redefine your boundaries. I'm willing to wager a little bit as well. Not that not having the right boundaries, or there's no reason for anyone to do anything bad to you at all, ever. But when things get blown up in our lives, it's an opportunity to say, where do I need to redefine my boundaries here? Boundaries aren't the walls that keep people out. They're the guidelines that help us grow closer with people, that help us build trust, that help us build intimacy and closeness, which is how we grow and have transformational relationships. The more boundaries you're aware of, the more self-aware you are. You may need to build a new boundaries about how courageous a conversation you want to have on Facebook or text messaging. You may want to build some boundaries about how long you're willing to listen to gossip about another person. You may want to build some boundaries about how you want to show up as a person and be seen and supported. One bit of homework for you, invite you, it only takes 5 minutes, and it's a 2-part question. The question is this, is when you are in a room alone with someone, what are the things they say and do that make you want to grow closer with them? What are the things that they say and do that make you want to grow closer with them? And what are the things they say and do that make you want to get up and leave the room? They're both equally important. Those things that draw us in, those things that warm our hearts, are the things that we are called as well to practice towards others. Those things that they do that make us want to get up and leave the room, those are learning experiences. Those things that we look at and say, that thing you just did, as Douglas Adams once said, don't do that. Redefine your boundaries. Step 6, release the relationship that was. Release the relationship that was. Many of us choose to renew a relationship we're in, or sometimes we don't have a choice. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. But no matter what, when trust is broken in our relationships, it's important to recognize that they cannot go back to the way they were before. It's a weird cosmic law. Things can't go back to the way they were before. New needs need to be articulated. New boundaries need to be set in order to renew this relationship in harmony. So we are called in so many ways to release the relationship that was. And for those of us who love the people that we're forgiving, we can build a relationship that was even better than before. You don't want to go back to the way that things were. We want to build something new and healthy and beautiful. Forgiveness is interesting because I would argue that it's ritualistic. We look at the spiritual practice of meditation here often. That's a quiet practice, right? Meditation is a silent communion with spirit and with our own mindfulness. Prayer, especially in our tradition, is a verbal process. It's either said out loud, you can get one from a practitioner today, or we use language in our own minds. Forgiveness to me is ritualistic. It involves a trust and a kind of magic in the creative process. And so I recommend in releasing a relationship that was to create a forgiveness ritual around it. I'm going to create a set of 5 songs that I'm going to listen to every Sunday night for a month. And when those 4 Sundays are over, I will have forgiven. We have so many beautiful lakes here in Colorado. I'm going to start at the beginning, and when I get around this lake, I will have forgiven. If there's a real tough forgiveness situation, I'm going to walk around this lake 7 times. And when I get to completion, I will have forgiven. I'm going to write a letter to this person and not send them to them. I'm going to write a letter to myself. Whatever it may be, create these rituals and just let it go. And the byproduct of those is often that grace and forgiveness that we're seeking to create. It's not a one-time event. We may have to do more rituals after that, but that process helps us release the relationship that was and step into something brand new. It helps us move from the why to the now what. The last step of forgiveness, step 7, is to renew the relationship. Desmond Tutu, who Jackie read from, probably my favorite teacher of forgiveness along with Jesus, he has 4 steps of forgiveness. Telling the story, naming the hurt, some of this sounds familiar to you already, granting forgiveness, and then he says you can release or renew the relationship. And I get why he says release the relationship, because some of us need to not be in relationship with these people who are abusing us, right? However, remember, we're oneness people here. And so what that means is that heart connections never end. Relationships never end. We may need to build a boundary that says, I don't talk to you anymore. We may need to build a boundary that says, I love you so much, especially from way, 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 way over here. You do you. But we're always one. And even beyond the seeming fractured surface, we are one. So we get to make a decision about how we're going to show up, even in our consciousness towards this person. And what I've learned, and this may make this the hardest step of all, is that until I can want the highest and best good for that person, I am not ready to receive that highest and best good for myself. Until I can want and wish and pray for the highest and best good for that person, I may want them to have a stiff punch in the nose too. That's okay. But until I can get to that point of wanting the highest and best for them, then my consciousness is cluttered. It's in a toxic place. Until I can want that and release that and know who I am in relationship with that person, then I can receive. Emerson said a prayer, any prayer for anything other than the highest good is vicious. And it speaks to this idea that when we pray for ourselves, at some level, we want everyone to have the same good. We want it to look a specific way for us, but we want everyone to have their good. And we can want that for others as well, while honoring the pain of our experience. But we have moved from why to now what, and we are choosing for ourselves a better life. Paul Ferrini said, yes, your compassion must go this deep. There is no human being who does not deserve your forgiveness. There is no human being who does not deserve your love. Not easy. None of this is easy. But you have a life to live. A life of wholeness. A life of freedom. A life of remembrance. A life of resilience. And by moving through these steps, you don't have to do the forgiveness yourself. The forgiveness is the byproduct of doing just what we've talked about today. And it's then that we can find that grace, the healthy relationships we're wanting to have, and we can love ourselves in the process. I have a little forgiveness practice as a little ritual, a little mantra. You may choose to participate in it today by bringing to mind someone you're ready to forgive. If you're not ready to forgive them, this process will drive you crazy and it will make you hate them even more. Okay? You got to mean it and take your time. It's okay if you're not there yet. It goes like this. I love you. I forgive you. I wish you well. I wish me well. I love you. I forgive you. I wish you well. I wish me well. Know that this is something you can say to someone living or who is no longer with us. I love you. I forgive you. I wish you well. I wish me well. As we move into prayer today, invite our prayer practitioners to stand and join me who are available after service for prayer. And I begin by sharing a prayer from Ernest Holmes. I am not concerned about what happened yesterday. I know that today everything is made new. I let go of all sense of limitation. I divorce my thought from any belief in lack. I repudiate the idea that I'm poor, weak, sick, or unhappy. New conditions are being created for me. Conditions of harmony, happiness, peace, and joy. All circumstances and situations are being harmonized. Wherever I go, I shall meet peace, joy, and happiness. Whatever I do shall be done with reason and intelligence. I shall be surrounded by friendship, by beauty, by right action. My whole being responds to this conviction. I accept my freedom. And so in this prayerful freedom, I know that I have the opportunity. I have spent the time that I have needed in why. I've gone over it again and again and learned everything I can from why. It is time to move into now what. And in this now what, I know there is a greater story unfolding in my life. A story of peace, of harmony, of love, of well-being, of connection. knowing for each of us that the love that we were incarnated into this being with is something that has never left us, but it gets stuck. It gets stuck in bad memories. It gets stuck in missed opportunities. It gets stuck in self-rejection and self-abandonment. Let us just call all of that love back. May we feel in this moment all the love that anyone has ever had for us and all that we've been able to muster for ourselves and this life along the journey. And we allow this love, through this power of forgiveness, to be renewed, to be present right here, and to be the central creative driving force in our lives. Allowing this to be so, I speak a word of harmony, of healing, of rejuvenation, and of wellness, and of an unconditioned joy for each person who is participating in the consciousness of this prayer today. We let it be, we let it become, and so it is.
Gravity, you have a hold on me. No matter what I do, I will lose to you. Nothing to choose but gravity. I push against this pull to you, dug in, determined. It's no use.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. As we move into our time of offering, I get to do a little honoring today of Mr. Todd Graves, who is celebrating 20 years of service to Mile High Church. And take it in. Taking care of this campus is not only something that Todd does an incredible job at, but he treats it like a spiritual practice. He takes care of this campus and makes sure that it is well and healthy so that we can come here and take great care of ourselves, and we would not be able to do that without your magnificent service to Mile High Church. You're one of those folks here, Todd, where we see so much that you do, but it's only an inkling of all that we don't see that you do to take care of this place. Thank you for anchoring yourself here. Thank you for taking care of these incredible facilities for us now and in the years to come. And here is a contract to sign you up for 20 more years of service to Mile High Church. And we have this award for you with a little card, but it would be great if you would say a word.
Wow, thank you. My heart is full. And there goes the words. Okay. So, when I walked in here 20 years ago, my life was just shattered. Rich Clark and Dr. Raz interviewed me, and I really led with all the reasons why they shouldn't hire me, and they hired me anyway. And working around here at nights, listening to what was going on in classes, connecting with so many people, I started to heal. So this is as much a celebration of 20 years of a job as it is rebuilding a life. And I have so many people to be thankful for and grateful for, especially with my children. Patrick going through the Marine Corps, which was just terrifying for me, and blazing through it like it was nothing. And then his sister Tiana showing him up, going through her cancer nightmare, like just a badass. And her and her husband, Cisco, just had a beautiful baby. So now I'm a grandfather. So I'm grateful to all of you, to staff, for being part of this community, for God backdooring me into a church. Thank you.
We're so grateful for you, Todd. Todd Graves, everybody. Two weeks ago, if you were here, we also announced that at the end of this calendar year, Dr. Patty Luckenbach is retiring from her role as associate minister here. She's going to remain an emeritus minister. We're so grateful for her. But it was very important to us at Mile High to honor her 50 years almost of employment here, to create a fund to support her well-being and ongoing ministry and the legacy of prayer and care at Mile High Church. So we announced 2 weeks ago that we had $25,000 donated and contributed, from $10,000 from the foundation and $15,000 anonymous, and we challenged you to match it, and we're right at $50,000. So I'm just so grateful to each and every one of you. We've all had the opportunity to think of the impact of her incredible ministry on us and to contribute to that, and they're still taking contributions. We'll have an update on the amount. Some guy named Roger Teal is going to come and speak here next week, and he'll give you the update on that. So thank you for giving money to Mile High Church, for supporting our operations, for investing in our well-being. And what I know is when whatever we give, whatever you choose to give, when it's given with that consciousness of abundance, it makes Mile High Church more abundant, it helps you be more abundant, and improves the abundance of everyone here. So let us give that gift today from that consciousness of abundance. Take it physically or metaphorically, and we can bless it all together by saying our offering affirmation, which goes like this. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
If I had a million hearts, I would give them all away to the broken-hearted people that you see from day to day. If I had a million hearts, I would give a heart to you. Then you'd know how much I love you, and our tears would all be through. So many people walking through their lives, you never notice the pain they hold inside. But don't try to get too close, they will run or fall apart. For the tears that have been buried are still carried in our hearts. If I had a million hearts, I would give them all away to the broken-hearted people that you see from day to day. If I had a million hearts, I would give a heart to you. Then you'd know how much I love you, and our tears would all be As a child, I must have learned I was not enough. Love must be earned. Now I've spent so many years trying to undo the learning of the pain and doubt and fear. If I had a million hearts, I would give them all away to the broken-hearted people that you see from day to day. If I had a million hearts, much you love me, and I'd finally be free.
Everybody sing!
Ooh la la, ooh la la, ooh la 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 la. If I had a million hearts, ooh la la la. If I had a million hearts, ooh la la la. If I had a million hearts, ooh la la Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie and Luke. And they have a website you can go to purchase their product. And we also have product in the lobby on this end, so they will be there to greet you. And thank you to our wonderful band. If you are with us for the first time today, I'm inviting you to come to the Welcome Center, which is right in the center of the lobby. And I'll be there to greet you, and so will our volunteers, and we have some special gifts for you. And for our practitioners, that forgiveness, in case it kind of struck a note to you, you know, I'm going to invite you to come up here with our practitioners and do a prayer with them after the service.
And Jackie, today's a tremendous day to choose to be of service.
Yes, we have a volunteer fair in our community center. Please go up there. There's coffee, tea, and all of that. But you can learn something safely about all of our volunteer activities here at Mile High Church. So stop up there, and every table has some candy on it, so you can have that too.
Thank you, Jackie. And Patty, you've got a couple important things to share with us today.
I do, and I want to thank you for your very meaningful talk today. And I also want to just remind us that we have the morning after. What is the morning after? It's an 8-week incredible support group for people who have lost relatives and friends through death. And it's really helpful. So if you want to do it, see me in the lobby. We got to sign up real soon because it starts October 2nd. Also, a fun thing, it's fall, and the Sacred Earth Ministry on the 28th of this month will be bringing their produce to the church. So, more zucchini. We can have a good time with that. We appreciate them. And also, I just want to, something really fun, our pet blessing, annual pet blessing is October 4th, and today, on the patio, we're signing up your dog, cat, bird, we have a bird signed up to be the grand marshal of the parade, the animal parade. So, see me out there.
Thank you, Patty. And it's not too late to join a class. There are wonderful classes, including those taught by Jackie and Patty here. Reverend Zamira is starting her spiritual practices in-person class Tuesday night, so consider that. With that, if you want to stand and say a benediction with me before we sing the peace song, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, my body, and all that I do. I give thanks for it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, family